So what's happening is a lot of us, we've got a lot of stress, so we're not eating right. There's a lot of inflammation. Our brain isn't functioning well. And so we're in survival mode. You find time to eat. You find time to pay your bills. You find time to work. And you need to find time to work out. And then you also need to find time to read. So I didn't really sleep very well last night. So I took a nap, and I used to take a nap and feel all guilty about it. But, I've said it a million times. You're going to take a nap. 20 minutes is max. Max. It really should be 15. If you talk to anybody in the military, Army, Air Force, Navy, Marine Corps, Coast Guard, they call them, especially Air Force, they call them fighter naps, like on aircraft carriers. You're doing these sorties, like taking off and landing, taking off and landing. And so if you're completely wasted, they'll tell you to take a fighter nap, which is 15 minutes. You set the alarm on your watch, on your phone or whatever. When you get into like a half hour, 45-minute nap, you wake up, you don't even know what year it is. You know what I mean? You ever wake up, you're just like, oh my God, because you started that circadian cycle where you're getting past that REM sleep and you're getting into deep sleep in the middle of the day. And so forget about going to sleep that night because your body and brain don't know what the heck's going on. So naps are important, but they got to be short. Meditation, I'll do body scan once in a while. I don't do traditional medication. Oh my God. Meditation. And if you haven't read this book yet, here I did an interview for this Business Weekly, some big shot magazine, and then I did another one. And I was talking about, so here's stress. All right, here's the John Rady book on stress. Spark. There it is. The revolutionary new science of exercise in the brain. So this is the physical way, physical movement, yoga, Pilates, martial arts, going for a run, whatever it is. Spark is a keyword thing. I was working out 3 to 4 times a week because I was young and my body looked pretty good and I wasn't as fit as I am now. I'm talking 20s and 30s. 20s and 30s, not as fit as I am now because I was only working out periodically. When you work out 2 or 3 days a week and you got the other 3 or 4 days off, you're going to get exercise bipolar disorder because all the chemicals, the norepinephrine, the dopamine, the serotonin, the brain-derived neurotropic factor, the cannabinoids explode inside of your head. And if you don't do it all the time, they explode and they go away and then you get sad. And then you have to, like, who's taking 3 or 4 days off? You've been consistent. And on that fifth day, it is just a bear to get back into the groove again, right? It's like, I don't know, food. Like I'm going to eat for 2 days and I'm going to skip it for 3 days. How's that going to work out for you? Not good. You know what? I'm going to pay my bills this month, but I'm not going to pay them for the next 2 months. You're evicted. You know what I mean? So work. I think I go to work when I want to go to work. I don't want to go to work all the time because fired. You know what I mean? So these are the things we do to survive, and surviving is everybody else. It ain't us. It's not. We're not here to survive. We're here to learn. We're here to grow. We're here to transform. We're here to be better. And you're going to learn all that at the Paragon times 10,000. All right. So I'm just scratching the surface here. This is stress relief number one. This is a career book, The Magic Lamp. But if you're kind of like looking to change careers or whatever, you want to, you find out what your raison d'etre is. That's French for reason for being. All right. What's your why? So I was doing stupid jobs and I read this book and I went, oh, I think I'm supposed to be a trainer. Worked out pretty well. Here's another one. This is another breath. If you haven't read James Nestor book, Breath, important. This is all about don't breathe through this ever again. This is not for breathing. This is for talking and eating, and that's it. If you're walking through an airport, shut the gob because there's a lot on a plane. I've been a mouth taper for almost 3 years. Every night, right there on the mouth, because this doesn't filter anything. This does design. This is so incredible. There's like these super little tiny microscopic cells in that filter out all the dirt and the dust and the grime and the viruses and the everything. It's amazing. And the first few nights you tape your mouth, you're gonna feel like you're gonna suffocate because it's gonna feel really weird. And last but not least, this one saved my life after Ramsay-Hunt syndrome. Full catastrophe living. It's big. It's big. But you can see there's pages that I thought were really important. And I have this book readily available. Like the other day, I was too much into the future. I'm not an into the past guy. It's water's under the bridge. Whatever happened in the past, I can't deal with that. But I'm too much into what ifs. And so I just opened up and I read a passage. I was like, oh, okay. Why am I making now bad based on my lousy expectations for the future? And this little passage, man, it's just like, oh, okay, it is what it is. Go into what it is. All right. So I don't know how you're going to deal with your stress, but here's the rest of the list and I'll go through it here. This is kind of a meditation breath work, sun salutation. I do them in the morning and I do it 10 minutes because I'm using air and I'm moving and I'm not drinking coffee as a means to get my brain going again. I'm oxygenating my blood and I'm also opening up my joints and my back and my neck and my legs and blah, blah, blah. And, I'm talking about inhale, exhale down, a flat back, go into plank, raise your leg, bring it through, warrior one, boom, 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 go back, downward dog, chaturanga, warrior two. And I don't do warrior three and warrior two and Baddha Konasana and all the other things. I just do warrior one over and over again for 10 minutes. I might do some side twists at the end just to kind of open up my back. And that is to me, physical, mental, and emotional all in one in my bare feet and in my underwear. Maybe that was TMI. And it's better than just sitting down, walking into your kitchen and making coffee and sitting down. And coffee is a source. It's yummy and it's lovely, and you've been doing it. Your great grandparents were doing, your parents' parents, and they were doing it back in England. I don't know, whatever. It's been in your life forever. You might want to try, just saying, 2 weeks, no coffee, 5 to 10 minutes of yoga instead, and see if that works for you. Oh, by the way, the second option is harder. All right. Because I always say it's tough until it's not. Right. Oh, that's hard. Oh, I'm not used. Yeah. Okay. Well, then keep doing what you're doing. And if you're living a dream, you're happy as hell and everything's great, and a cup of coffee gets you going, and you don't have any aches or pains, and you sleep like a baby, and you can climb Mount Everest, drink all the coffee you want. But if you find out if you've got like a lot of issues, do the sun salutation. It's the ultimate stress reliever. It wakes up your body and your mind, and it's perfect. I get in the yard all the time. I love getting in the yard. I'm lucky that I have a yard. For the first 43 years of well, when I was a kid, I had a yard, but I cut the grass and I hated it. I think I got paid $5. But then I lived in an apartment here in LA for 27 years, no yard. But now that I have one, I feel very lucky and very fortunate. I get out there and I'm trimming. I love the succulents. You just stick it in the ground and it grows. It's unbelievable. And that's it. I'm always trimming and cutting and planting. And today was flowers out there. I mean, I had a little help, but it was fun. And then reading, obviously, reading. All right. I'm learning when I'm reading. If I'm not reading and I'm just watching Netflix, what am I learning really? You learn something, but it's nice to pick up a book. I just recommended 4. You have to decide whether you want to learn and grow, because old dogs can learn new tricks. You just got to do it. All right. And then Shauna is probably my, next to music, probably is probably my number one mindfulness thing. We have a little running joke that says, "Hey, honey," I go, "Honey, what's my job?" And she'll go, "Oh, are you serious?" I said, "Yeah, what's my job? Do I really have to answer this?" I said, "Yes, you do." She said, and then she'll say, "To make my life awesome." I go, "That's right." And when I'm doing things for her and I'm doing things for other, the reason why you're all here is because a long time ago I did something nice to a guy I didn't like at all. Because I read it in this book here. It was a little lesson at the end. There's little lessons at the end of this book. And one of them was, do something nice for somebody you think is a bonehead. All right, I'll just do the lesson. And I met this guy and he was a bonehead and he didn't like me and I didn't like him. And I invited him to work out and he did. And he introduced me to Carl Deichler. And then I worked for Carl for 20 years. And I did this thing called P90X and X2 and X3 and 20 hardcore. And what the heck? All because I read a thing in a book and be nice to somebody you don't like. Like, what? So what's happening is a lot of us, we've got a lot of stress, so we're not eating right. There's a lot of inflammation. Our brain isn't functioning well. And so we're in survival mode. And so much for going out of our way and doing nice things for people we even like. We don't have time. We don't have energy. I got to do my stuff. Well, the idea here is to live this lifestyle so you have enough time and energy to be able to kind of start thinking outside of you and thinking about what others need. And it's the most rewarding, incredible, amazing thing in the world. It just really is. When you find, and look, my life is very complicated and not every day is all about, taking children on hikes in the forest. That's, I don't get to do that. But it's all very legal. But you know what I mean? Like, like you find time to eat. You find time to pay your bills. You find time to work. And you need to find time to work out. And then you also need to find time to read, and you need to find time to do all the other mindfulness, recovery, resting things. And here's just plain recovery if you're training hard: cold plunge, sauna, foam rolling, massage, jacuzzi, compression stuff, supplements with the right protein, electrolytes, etc. Heat if you need any kind of heating pads. hydrotherapy, decent sleep. I mean, I could do 8 Tony Talks on 8, 9 hours of sleep. If you're doing 6 hours, 6.5 hours, 7 hours, and you think that's doing something, and you're not losing any weight because that's 6 or 7 hours, your circadian cycle is the point where if you're shortening it, you've got REM sleep, deep sleep, REM sleep, deep sleep, and there's another one in there somewhere. And then if you're only getting 6.5, you're going to wake up starving to death, completely out of it, and craving fat, sugar, salt, and chemicals. But if you get that full 8, and everybody's different. Some people need 10. I mean, I need 9.5, 10 now, as hard as I train. And I don't always get it. And so I wake up craving garbage food. That's just the way the brain works. So you find time to eat. You find time to pay your bills. You find time to work. And you need to find time to work out. I'm miserable. I can't physically do things. I'm super moody. I don't sleep well. I crave garbage foods. If you're not exercising kind of all the time, your diet is just screwing with you. If that isn't locked in and figured out, and you're not doing it pretty good 6 days a week, I can't help you.